The 12 Warriors of Sheep Village tells the story of 12 sheep escaping persecution, only to be detained in the wolves' village. It's one of the books that have landed a group of Hong Kong speech therapists on trial for sedition. Prosecutors say it's a parable of the 12 protesters who tried to flee to Taiwan by sea, but were intercepted by Chinese authorities.
同我捉晒佢哋返浪村咯！
大船上面嘅船長大聲咁講。
5 leading members of the General Union of Hong Kong Speech Therapists are in court this week over a series of picture books. The government accuses them of using the illustrations to incite hatred and spread separatist ideas. The children's books tell the tale of a village of sheep threatened by evil wolves who blindly worship their leader, and can be interpreted to depict Hong Kong's situation.
It just displays and illustrates how the Hong Kong and Chinese government are afraid of people in bringing up these memories, in bringing up these events that actually took place. I think a lot of people were being inspired by the solidarity of the working people in fighting for democracy and the power of it in paralyzing the economy in a way that it would put pressure on the regime in making genuine reforms.
The trial has shone a light on both the issues of censorship and the government's intensifying crackdown on organized labor. Scores of new unions sprung out of the anti-government protests of 2019, but according to a report by the Hong Kong Labour Rights Monitor, over 60 have already been forced to disband.
They were being forced to disband themselves because of political threats and risks and pressure being put upon them by the Hong Kong and Chinese governments and authorities. As a result of the crackdown on the suppressions of the union, we're seeing that not only the political rights of the workers are being violated, but we are also seeing the workers' rights are being under threat as well.
Hong Kong's history of labour movements is long and storied, stretching back to seamen's strikes that crippled the then British colony in the early 20th century. Some of the laws, resurrected by the current Hong Kong government to jail its opponents, were created by the British colonial authorities to quash these earlier strikes. The anti-sedition law being levelled at the authors of these books is one such example. And in the national security crackdown, it's not just smaller unions like the speech therapists being targeted. Last year, 2 of the biggest and most well-established unions in the city, the Professional Teachers Union and the Confederation of Trade Unions, were also dissolved due to political pressure.
It is very difficult for many unions to continue to operate freely and without any political pressure in organizing workers, in participating in political events or social movements. And a lot of the unions themselves are being questioned by the authorities or interrogated of the activities that they have been involving in. The Hong Kong government is trying to use some of the draconian stipulations within the labor law and the trade unions ordinance in limiting the activities of the unions.
The case of the speech therapists has been adjourned until mid-July. The charges they face under the colonial-era crimes ordinance carry a maximum penalty of 2 years in jail. But the defendants have already spent almost a year in pre-trial detention, denied bail on national security grounds. Those concerned for the future of unions and free speech in the city will be watching what becomes of a tale of Sheep Village.
如果你係人，你會唔會勇敢咁繼續守衞家園？
Ryan Kilpatrick for TaiwanPlus.